Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game SO. Today I got a fun and exciting video for you guys today because we're playing the demo version of Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Because if you know me and you know the channel, you know there's two things I absolutely love. It is a good 2D beat 'em up and it is a good modern game with a retro aesthetic. And when I say Marvel Cosmic Invasion absolutely nails it, at least in this demo, I 100% mean it. This thing is the perfect marriage of the modern as well as the retro, and because it is a beat 'em up, it's a genre that I really want to love. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, down below hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. Now this is just a preview for the game. Obviously the full version isn't out, so you can't kind of think of this as a review, but if I was going to review the first two stages, I would say this is straight up legit a 9.5 out of 10. I absolutely love it, and I would play it time and time again. I love the fact that it has pure sprites and 2D art assets. It really does kind of feel like maybe if the industry had never discovered 3D in the 90s and pivoted to there, what modern 2D games would look like had we never actually had 3D. All of the characters, all of the enemies, all of the stages just straight up look incredible in this art style. And the best thing is, we're going to talk about it off the top first, is the combat mechanics. Now I say in basically every single beat 'em up video two things. One, if the hits don't line up and they don't have a good impact and the hit detection is off, it absolutely ruins the experience in the game. The second thing is, I say every single beat 'em up has to have an elevator section or else it cannot be considered a true beat 'em up. So let's take that first point and talk about the hit detection and the weight of the strikes. The good thing is, in Marvel Cosmic Invasion, the hit detection is perfection. If you miss a strike, that's because you were just in the complete wrong area of the screen. Because sometimes in beat 'em ups you feel like you should be hitting your opponent, but you're just whiffing those shots, and that is the number one thing that ruins a beat 'em up that had potential. Here in this game, that is not an issue whatsoever. You have a solid move set. You also have some tag attacks when you bring your partner in, like you just saw there with Storm. It just hits on every single way, pun very much intended, for a beat 'em up, and that is the number one criteria for me. The action, the combat has to be effective, it has to be fluid and fast, or else I'm going to get bored with the game very quickly. There's a ton of different combos you can do. You can do aerial juggles as well, and this definitely has the feeling of a game that you can sit down and learn and improve at and try to get that 1cc when it is fully out. But those bees basically flying by the screen, when you have that pixelation, it kind of almost feels like a parallax effect. It is stunning 2D, and this is what I want more out of modern games. The industry's basically perfected 3D, but 2D games don't come out all that often, and when they have the level of graphics and fidelity we're seeing here, that is just straight up something that makes me love the game even that much more. Now if you're wondering why I said I would give this a 9.5 out of 10 if it was a review, the only thing I'm taking half a point off, at least in this demo because I couldn't find a difficulty slider, is the game just feels a little bit too easy. There's a ton of different health ups here. You're going to get pizzas, hoagies, as well as hot dogs with only mustard on them, so you know they're from Chicago, not anywhere else. But I'm sure in the actual release game you'll probably have more than one difficulty, because if this was how difficult the game was the entirety of the way through, it would basically be a free win. As we go into the first boss section here, I love this story, but just look at that background there. It kind of looks like something that could have been in a Capcom Street Fighter game or even an SNK game as a fighting game background. That's what I really see when I look at these graphics, just that kind of overall Neo Geo vibe. As that smoke animates in the background, it does kind of have that SNK look to it, even though this is obviously running on a modern engine on a modern gaming PC. But anytime I can think back and think, this looks like a 16-bit game, except if 16-bit went to the modern era and kept that art style, it's going to be a good thing. And you'll see here on the boss battles, they are fun, they are effective, there's a ton of stuff to see and do, and you just have a blast absolutely destroying the boss in front of you. Let's go into our first soundtrack sample, both voiceover as well as music. 45 seconds, and I'll be right back with a ton more Marvel.
I gotta change my costume.
MODOK was captured by S.H.I.E.L.D., but AIM is now breaking him out as part of a pact with the invaders.
Even the powers from beyond the stars recognize the size of MODOK's intellect.
Now, I'm not sure what they're trying to imply when they say he has to change his costume, but how I read that is the boss just shit himself because you hit him a couple too many times. If that's not what they're going for, it's how it reads, and if it is what they're going for, absolutely hilarious without actually saying the quiet part out loud. As we get to the second stage here, again, just like how stunning this game truly is. You have that plane in the background, you have the holes in the fuselage, and you can even see the environment going down below that. Kind of looks like a little bit of an iceberg down there with all of the different fun opponents and all of their different attacks. The diversity here on offer definitely keeps this game feeling fresh, because the one thing that the beat 'em up genre is known for, at least in my opinion, and can suffer from, is a little bit of the feeling of, okay, I played it enough. Because once you understand all the moves, the game is basically going to be the same from the beginning to the end. You go right, you go left, you go up, you go down, you beat the ever-loving hell out of people like they owe you money, and then you beat the final boss and see the credits scroll. So having this level of diversity in the characters, in their attacks, in the environments really are what keep these games alive. The best beat 'em ups love to mix up their areas, show you new enemies with new attack patterns, and basically keep you on your toes. And this one is definitely firing on that kind of concept of making sure everything feels fresh. I love the fact that the characters can hover in air and even do a double jump, because some characters, at least that you're fighting, will be floating in air, and you either have to do some downward strikes to knock them down or hover in the air and attack them head on. So you kind of get a little bit of a layer priority thing going on as well. Not quite something like Guardian Heroes, but definitely has a little bit of that feel to it. But this game basically feels new and unique, even if it is in a genre that we played 100 times before. And if you were wondering, the answer to that second part that I said up front, that every single proper beat 'em up has to have an elevator, is true here. Now, it is just kind of a gameplay mechanic to get some artificial length into the game, because you don't really need to draw much graphics. You just scroll the screen, make somebody play it for about a minute, and then you move on to something different. But it is one of those things that's become so synonymous with the genre that if there isn't an elevator there, I'm definitely going to notice and wonder where it went. But the good news is you have an elevator, and you also have a gigantic grinder right here that's going to be a power-up, and I love that. Leave me a comment down below and you tell me, grinder, hoagie, hero, or submarine sandwich is definitely a regional thing, and growing up in New England has always been a grinder to me. But outside of talking about sandwiches, what this game is not about whatsoever, it is just a fun question. But the best part about this is, holy shit, is it just good. It's one of those things, we've gotten a lot of different modern beat 'em ups, and they definitely range in caliber from some of the best stuff you ever played to wondering why the people would have made it in the first place. But Marvel here is absolutely on the good end of that measurement, because this thing is just making me so happy to play. Whether you're playing single player, if you want to go in dual player when the game comes out, the only wrong way to play this game is to not play it, at least in its demo format. And I've never had this much fun with a demo before, and ended up hating the final game. There's so many different mechanics, like this Gatling gun here, where you can actually turn your character's direction and fire in both ways. Stuff that I've never really seen in a beat 'em up, so it's also kind of being inventive in a genre that we feel like we've seen everything in. But a soundtrack sample 2 time, 45 seconds, I'll be right back and show you how the demo ends.
I'm not done yet.
So I mean, at least in the preview stage, Marvel Cosmic Invasion has absolutely everything going for it. The graphics are outstanding, the sprite work is incredible, it has an amazing soundtrack, and all of the fighting mechanics in and of themselves are just hitting, pun again intended. I just can't wait to see this thing go to a retail release and see what else the developers have in store, because if the final game is as good as this, we're talking about almost a near perfect score, at least from Video Game Esoterica, if my score is actually counted and if this was actually a review. But this is the type of thing, again, that I just can't get enough of. The beat 'em up genre has never died, but it's definitely had some blows over the last couple decades or so. But this definitely feels like a renaissance of what you want an arcade beat 'em up to be. This is going to be great when you have game nights, you have some friends over, pop open a couple beers, get some actual multiplayer going, and just run through this game. Because it has the Marvel franchise, it's going to be really popular as well. Maybe not with a ton of people that haven't played a ton of beat 'em ups before, but people that just love Marvel. Because I know know some of my nephews absolutely love the movies, but they've probably never actually played a traditional 2D beat 'em up in their life. So this is the type of thing that I could show them and get more people into a genre like beat 'em ups, and that would just make me happy, because let's be honest, kids these days just really aren't growing up with the beat 'em up genre, not the way that we did in the 90s when they were all over the arcades and our 16-bit consoles. So the fact that there's still interest in the genre and developers are still making incredible games, that is amazing, and considering Marvel's attached to it, all the better. Even though if you want Video Game Esoteric to make an admission right now that you're going to judge him for, I've only ever seen Iron Man. I've never seen a single other Marvel film. I don't know why, I just never got around to it. But this game is a straight up 9.5 out of 10 as a demo, and I can't wait to see how it's finished. It's on Steam right now, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.